What's up, guys? This is X-Nose TV, and today we're going to look at how to stop the Kansas City Chiefs offense. Now, obviously, the Super Bowl is this weekend, and they're playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so that got me thinking, and I went back through and I checked out all of Casey's game film from this past year, and I think I figured out a way to simplify this offense and possibly contain it to 20 points or less. Now, when you're game planning for a specific offense, especially one as good as Kansas City, what you have to ask yourself is, what does this team do best? What is their favorite thing to do, and what's the most dangerous part about their offense? And then, once you figure that out, your job is to take that away and make the offense score points and beat you using a different method, right? So when I think about Kansas City, clearly the best and most dangerous part about their offense is the speed of their receivers and their ability to stretch your defense vertically, and then for Pat Mahomes to connect with his Hall of Fame tight end, Travis Kelce. So that's basically like the simplest way I can describe it, is they want to stretch you vertically and then hit their Hall of Fame tight end over the middle of the field to move the chains. Okay, so now that we've established what Kansas City does best, the last thing I would worry about is their run game. And I know that sounds counterproductive and maybe a little bit disrespectful. It's not that Kansas City can't run the football, because they certainly can. It's just not what they do best. And the whole point of this video is to make Kansas City uncomfortable and make them have to win a football game in ways that they're not used to winning a football game. So when it comes to their run game, it's mostly to set up the RPO and the play action game. Any defense going up against the Chiefs is going to be running sub-package football, right? For like 90% of the game at least. So it's going to be up to the front four to stop any inside carries or off-tackle carries. It's going to be the job of the linebackers to get depth on play action and to stop any RPOs over the middle of the field. And you can't have these guys getting sucked up, because these things are deadly. Like you'll see on this play, these guys can catch these passes over the middle and just take off with them, and they provide a ton of explosive plays. So that has to be the focus. If a running back gets 5 or 10 yards, I don't care about that. That is not a concern. Like, I want the Chiefs to run the football, okay? I don't want the ball in Patrick Mahomes' hand every single play. The Chiefs don't really want that. The Chiefs don't want to go 10, 12, 14 play drives. They want to score quickly. They want to make every game a shootout, because they know no offense can compete with their offense. The only thing you do have to worry about is these jet sweeps by the wide receivers. They do provide a lot of explosive plays, but the rest of the run game is not as threatening. It's less about providing explosive plays, and it's more about setting up that explosive play. Okay, so finally we're going to talk about this KC passing attack and how to stop it. So the best example I could find was in Week 16 against the Atlanta Falcons, who honestly should have won this game, but they ended up missing a late field goal to tie it, so they lost. But the main takeaway was this Atlanta defense, who's not very good, somehow held this KC offense to under 20 points. How did they do it? Well, basically, they decided to play extremely conservative. Their secondary refused to allow any of these KC receivers to get behind them, often allowing short and intermediate routes to get open on the perimeter, but then just making the tackle, as long as nobody got deep on them, like Tyreek Hill, McCole Hardman, and then focusing on taking away Travis Kelce over the middle of the field, often bracketing him with a corner or a linebacker underneath and then a safety over top. This scheme, combined with mixing up their pressure fronts, really confused Patrick Mahomes. Even though KC is clearly the better football team, since Atlanta took away what KC does best, it made the game interesting. Okay, so in this game, Atlanta's favorite defensive call was a cover one. Now, cover one's a staple in the NFL. Teams love to run it because it's flexible and it's easy to disguise, and it's particularly good against teams who have receivers who are dominant over the middle of the field. Now, teams run cover one all the time against Kansas City without a ton of success, but the reason why Atlanta was successful with it was because they really emphasized their secondary to stay deep and not allow any wideouts to get over top of them. So here, every snap of the ball, you'll see the safety is going to be at least 18 to 20 yards, and the corners are not going to bite on any double moves. They're going to keep those wideouts in front of them. This is early in the game. It's like the first or second drive of the game, and KC is set in their ways. You know what I mean? They really want to, like I said, they want to stretch you vertically, and they want to get Kelce over the middle. Now, this play, there's no Travis Kelce, so he's going to have a different underneath read, but Pat Mahomes really wants Tyreek Hill. He wants his double move, no doubt. And I think this throw is predetermined because Byron Pringle, who's at the top of the screen here, is going to come wide open, but he's just not going to see it. And he's going to kind of force this throw, and it's not going to have a chance. But this is what I meant by just early on, they were sticking to their bread and butter, but Atlanta came out saying, you're not going to beat us this way. And it really did throw off Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, so this is later in the game, and the Chiefs are trying to figure out a way to move the ball against this cover one of Atlanta's defense. So they're going to come out in a tight formation, which is obviously much easier to get your wide receivers open against man coverage when they're bunched in tight. Atlanta obviously knows this, so they're going to check out of their cover one and check into a cover three zone. And that's another thing that's great about cover one. It looks exactly like cover three because you have one deep safety. And I think that's exactly what happens on this play. Now, it's 3rd and 10. The only routes that are going to have any chance of picking up this first down are obviously the 10-yard out and the 10-yard hitch. In my opinion, they're both going to come open. Not wide open, but they're NFL throws and NFL reads that you would expect Pat Mahomes to make. But he's not going to make it. I think he's confused by the coverage. Maybe he was expecting man coverage, and he's confused by the pressure front that I don't think he was expecting. But what I want you to pay attention to before he throws this ball incomplete is how deep the safety gets. Like, the Chiefs are only throwing to the sticks, and watch this Atlanta safety. He's going to go this must be like 30 yards deep. Like, these guys were not playing around. He's like back with the refs. Like, what the hell? You know what I mean? But they just really were not going to get beat deep by this Chiefs offense. Okay, so when we compare that Atlanta game with what happened the first time Tampa Bay played the Chiefs, we're going to see two completely different ideologies. Tampa Bay figured that they're not going to have to worry about Kansas City's deep ball because they're so confident in their front seven's ability to get after Patrick Mahomes. Figuring if we can sack Pat Mahomes before these receivers can get down the field, then what's the point of playing conservative? Well, if you remember how that game went, especially in the first quarter, it doesn't matter how fast you get to Pat Mahomes. If you don't have these guys deep enough, look at this. They got all their corners pressed up. They got their safety at like 12 yards. At the snap, I think it's like 15. It's just not deep enough. And these receivers are going to end up blowing right past them. You can't play this team like that. You have to take away their ability to go vertical. And then you can take it from there. Just like the Atlanta game. Okay, so the recap. Don't worry about this run game. You're picking the lesser evil here. It's not that the run game sucks. It's just you have to focus on shutting down this pass. And the key to it is the linebackers. They have to be playing pass first instead of run first like they traditionally would be. This means not biting on play action and then sitting down on those RPO routes over the middle of the field. Next is the secondary, the play of the secondary. They have to be conservative. They can't let anybody get behind them, like I said before. This, in turn, is going to allow short completions to be wide open. That's okay. It's okay if you give up a 5-10 yard pass play. Just come up, break down, and make the tackle. Make Patrick Mahomes stand in that pocket, scan your defense, and make the correct reads. Maybe this guy's one and only weakness is his youth and inexperience. I've seen him be confused before. Next is Travis Kelce. It would be nice to double team Travis Kelce every single play, but that's just not realistic. What is more reasonable is being physical with this guy. Way too many times I've seen him get free releases off the line of scrimmage. Put your hands on him every single play and disrupt that timing. Tyreek Hill is the best deep threat in the NFL, but trust me, Travis Kelce is the Chiefs' greatest weapon, period. If you force this offense to have to dink and dunk you down the field, it's going to increase the likelihood that they make mistakes, and it will give you a better chance of winning the football game, okay? Now, this is just my opinion, though. This is what I see after watching all of their game tape from this year. It's extremely challenging to find weaknesses with this team, though, I'll admit, 100%. But what would you guys do if you were defensive coordinator? How would you stop the Kansas City Chiefs offense? Let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.